The factory I work for does not care about me, my well-being, my issues, nothing. They just want me to show up, do the work, and that's it. And right now, I'm really feeling the toll on my body only because I'll explain. But look, right now, my wrist freaking hurts. Like this whole section right here, like it hurts a little bit. Both sides, my fingers starting to feel a little stiff, like they might lock up. And it's because of the repetitive motions and because it actually is not as ergonomic as they make it seem, right? Some of them are, which is cool, but some of them you definitely have to put a little bit extra force into it, which over time and the repetitiveness of it will strain your arm, make it sore, hurt it in the long term, right? And when I first started at this company, it was a job I had gotten after like a year and a couple months of being unemployed. So when I showed up, I was grateful for the opportunity and the type of person I am, you know what I mean? Like I do good work and like it's just the way I am because I want to do good work because I want to do good things. And I show up, I do my work. At first you don't feel it as much. There's some things that they have you do where like it takes a little bit more effort. But at first I would be going crazy, man. Like I would be doing the most. We'd be missing people. I'd be going to cover that and then cover this and then back and forth. Like literally just sweating, busting my ass just to freaking, I don't even know. Just to do a good job, you know what I mean? And then I'd get like fake recognition. And I say that because like they'd be like, oh, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. But then promotion comes around and I don't get a promotion. And then that's when you start kind of feeling like, what am I doing all this extra work for? And that's when I started like kind of straying away. Like I still did my job and I still did a good job and I still do to this day. But when it comes to doing above and beyond, I pick and choose. You get what I'm saying? And if something hurts me, I definitely stop myself from it now. You get what I'm saying? Because in the past, I'll be like, it's not going to be too long. Let me just force myself so I can get some good recognition. But now, I straight up tell them, like, hey, nah, like, I can't be doing this because it hurts. And, like, they can't do anything about it because that's part of the deal. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, if something, like, there was one time where we had to do a process. And it was really, it's like something happened where it made the process really difficult. And everybody was getting injured. I got injured myself. My freaking shoulder every week would hurt, and then on the weekend I wouldn't be able to do my exercises or anything like that. So I fell back on my own personal stuff just to freaking make the company happy. You get what I'm saying? And that's such a freaking nasty thought, honestly. And they wouldn't do anything about it because they had to go through so many progresses, and they would just force us to do it. And like the thing is, I got so fed up with that, and that's when literally like my whole mindset on this job changed. Because I would see everybody force themselves to get injured just to continue doing the job. Nobody would speak up really. They would, but like then they would still do it because I mean it's hard because a lot of us rely on this money. You know what I'm saying? And like we can't afford to just like leave this position and go find a job somewhere else because the opportunity here is actually a pretty decent opportunity. Don't get me wrong. And that's where you got to balance it, right? But that's where the balance comes in. And that's where a lot of people don't do. And that's what I started to do. Because you can tell them, like, hey, this hurts. Like, I can't do this right now. And they'll move you. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, a lot of people feel like they might get a bad recognition for that. And that's what I felt. And then I would feel like that would decrease my chances of getting a promotion. But then after promotion and promotion was available and I wasn't chosen or anything like that, like you start feeling like a type of way, you know? And then that's when I slowly started like just doing my job and not going too above and beyond. But I still do a good job. I mean, I'm there, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not just, you know what I'm saying? I still do a good job and I still work. But I do feel the toll on my body now, especially. Because we're there for 12 hours, man, doing repetitive things. And some of these things hurt your body. Like my wrist hurts. My fingers sometimes hurt. You know what I'm saying? And then I see older people here at the factory with me, and like it just puts me in a freaking mindset where it's like I feel bad for them, and I freaking, you know what I'm saying, because they have to be here to provide, and that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Don't get it twisted. But it's sad to think like we have to freaking put our bodies on the line for a freaking paycheck, man. You get what I'm saying? And like, it's a really messed up system, but you know what? Like, don't get me wrong though. I'm not saying like things should change like that. They should definitely try to make it as comfortable as they can, right? But look, we didn't get the education. So we don't have the certificates, we don't have the degrees. So we do have to do these jobs. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I understand that. Nothing wrong with that. But it just puts you in the mindset where like, I don't want to end up in this situation when I'm getting closer to retirement. I don't want to destroy my body to retire just to not be able to do anything. You get what I'm saying? And that's kind of where I'm at right now. And that's what I've really been thinking about. Because you see the people walking around, and some of them got limbs. Some of them, their postures are all messed up. Some of them, they're always in pain. They're older people, man. Like, it's a sad sight, honestly. But it's a reality for a lot of us. But that's where I come in, thinking like, if I don't like take the appropriate steps to either move up, create new opportunities for myself, or retire early. And by retire early, I mean like actually save and invest for retirement. Because a lot of people don't. Like, a lot of those older people, like, I'll be talking with them and they don't really have a good retirement. So they will have to freaking work into their older years. And like, by then, man, you're so freaking tired. You're so freaking damaged by the work that is honestly pretty sad. But a lot of people weren't taught anything about finances. And a lot of people have things in their lives that they deal with, and then that causes them to either overspend. Some of them might have depression, and then like spending will kind of numb that feeling. There's a whole lot of different reasons and a whole lot of different things that every individual has to deal with. And that is their own battle, of course. You can only do so much. But that's where you got to start thinking about yourself and what you want and how you will achieve that and the steps you can take today. And one thing I struggle with the most, in which I will talk about this in another video also, but let me just sprinkle it on here, is thinking too much of the future. And then that creates a lot of stress and anxiety when you should just be thinking about today. Because if you don't think just about today, because today has enough issues and enough problems, but if you also add the future problems that may or may not even be happening, the amount of stress you're going to have and anxiety is freaking out of this world, man. And I suffer from that right now, and I do have to improve on that. But this factory doesn't care about me, and I know that. And the simplest way, I guess I'll give you guys a little bit like of what I do now, right? I show up on time, I do my work, and I do it well. Because I do need this paycheck. I'll be honest with y'all. I need the income from this job. No question about it. And it's a good opportunity. It's such a good opportunity that people come from like 2-3 hours away. They get little to no sleep. And they literally at work drinking energy drinks, coffee, whatever it may be. And then they don't even have the energy to go home and cook themselves a freaking good meal. So then they destroy their bodies even more by doing that. Really think about that. That's how good of an opportunity this is. And it's not even the best opportunity in the world, but it's actually a pretty good opportunity, I'll be honest. But so you're not even destroying yourself physically, but you're destroying yourself internally, emotionally too, honestly. And that's such a freaking ugly thing. I just remembered about that. And in order to protect yourself, man, thankfully I don't live that far. I'm like a good 25 minutes away. So that's not bad at all. So I'm able to actually get some rest and cook some meals. But what I've been doing is understanding that if I get the raise, or not even the raise, because we get actually raises every once in a while, which is cool. It's not much, but something. But if I get the promotion, I get it. And in the meantime, I will sprinkle in like little actions, especially when I'm being seen. Because if I'm not being seen, man, and I'm doing all this extra work, it literally just gets thrown away because you can't go around and be like, hey, I just did this and this and this. And they'll be like, all right, here's the promotion. They won't do that, man. They don't care. Like, they don't care, man. But if they see, they might, okay, be like, oh, okay, he's actually doing some work. Let me give him some good points on that or whatever. However they do it. So if I'm being seen, I'll definitely step up a little bit and do a little something. But if I'm not being seen, really, I'll just kind of take it more calm. And then I'll figure out ways to make it as comfortable as I can to do the actual process. And I won't destroy my body for the company. And by that I mean, if I'm hurt or if something is not right, I will speak up instead of just being like, all right, let me just suck it in so I can just stay on good standing with these people or whatever. Because if I do that, man, and my body is literally just getting destroyed week after week, by the end of it, I'm literally like dead, you know what I'm saying? And I can't have that, man. Nobody can have that. And it makes me mad, not mad, but like, I'm like, man, like everybody should be speaking up so they can actually change something. And not even just speaking up, but like speak up for yourself, because you shouldn't allow yourself to destroy your body to have a paycheck. But it makes sense, man, because some of us, this is all we got, and it's hard out here. It's hard. But lately, I've been taking more care of my body with it, outside and at work, because you realize this company don't care. You can do everything, and they'll still give it to somebody else. And that's life. You can't complain, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And in this case, I'm protecting my freaking well-being and my body as much as I can, of course, because I still gotta do the job. And I'm also investing and saving so I won't have to do this for the rest of my life. And those are just really my thoughts on that, right? So if you're in a similar situation, think about what you want and take the steps to achieve that, man. Because you can't destroy yourself for a company that don't care about you. And don't get me wrong, I'm still there destroying my body a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I need the money. And that's such a sad thing, but I didn't get the education and I don't have the skills right now. So that's on me. So it's on me to get the skills, the education, to move on to something else. You get what I'm saying? Take care.